Everybody, I'm JJ. You're watching Reality Survival, and today I'm going to talk to you about several different ways to protect your electronic devices from an EMP. I've gotten several questions about this lately, and I thought it would be a good idea just to kind of go back to the basics and talk about like all the different ways that I know of to do this. So that's what we're going to talk about. So before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know that I have a new cell phone app called American Prepping Academy. And if you go to the Google Play Store or the iPhone Store, you can download that app for free. And if you have a channel that's about prepping and you're somebody who's trying to educate the population about different types of prepping stuff, then you can apply to be on the app. Also, you just go to app.americanpreppingacademy.com and sign up. Okay. So there's that, and let's see, I think we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the simplest and easiest way to protect small, electronic devices or whatever. So aluminum foil is the easiest way. If you take some aluminum foil and you wrap it around an item, that'll give you roughly 50 dBs of protection, which is going to be, it's going to protect it for the most part, probably above 75%, depending on how well it's sealed and all that kind of stuff, 75 to 90%, something like that. And an EMP, let me just back up real quick if you don't know, is a high altitude it's an electromagnetic pulse. And that could be generated from a high altitude nuclear detonation, or it could be something that's generated from like a coronal mass ejection. They also have man-made EMP weapons nowadays. So lots of different ways that it could, be triggered. But the bottom line is that there's basically three phases or three waves of energy that comes out of an electromagnetic pulse. And especially the E1 phase of those pulses, it's really, really fast. And it basically, as the wave comes over any conductive surface, it generates voltage on that conductor. And so personal items like laptops and cell phones and radios and even larger items like refrigerators and stoves and anything with any kind of sensitive electronics in it can be susceptible to having the electronics burnt out, especially stuff that is more sensitive, like with a lot of microchips and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be even more susceptible. So what we're talking about here is some of the ways that you can protect those items. Now, obviously, if you take your cell phone or something that you use frequently and you wrap it in you wrap it in aluminum foil, you're not going to be able to use it, right? So this isn't a very practical option for most people. And this really applies for like preppers who are wanting to put back a few items to use in the case of a disaster. In the case of an electromagnetic pulse happen, you kind of get these items and you set them back and you put them in a Faraday cage, and that will sort of protect them from a pulse. Now, a Faraday cage is basically a conductive layer that goes around the item, and what happens is as the wave passes over that conductive layer, it has what's called a skin effect, and it produces an electromagnetic charge on the outside of the skin of that item. But as long as it's encompassed completely, it won't go to what is inside the item and being protected. And again, that's because of the skin effect. The electricity travels on the outside of that conductive layer that's around it. So with aluminum foil, you want to make sure that the item that you're wrapping up has an insulative layer around the item first. So plastic bag, for example, like a Ziploc bag would probably be fine. You can just put the item inside a Ziploc bag and then take it and wrap it in aluminum foil. And then that's going to give you one layer of protection. If you guys watched my older video on this, you can make what's called a nested Faraday cage, and that will give you significantly better protection, and that is where you do multiple layers. So you might start with a layer of plastic and then a layer of aluminum foil, then you do another layer of plastic, and then you might do like a copper foil or some type of a different metal foil wrapping around it. And what that'll do is that helps to protect the item at different frequency ranges and give you a more complete layer of protection. So that is probably the easiest home remedy method. Ziploc bags and aluminum foil. That's gonna get you pretty well protected with a lot of stuff. Then probably the next most cost-effective way is these little bags here. They also make bigger ones like this. These are from Faraday Defense, and I'm not an affiliate with these guys. These bags are fairly cost-effective, and they work pretty good. The thing is that they come with a little Ziploc seal on them. If you can, I don't know if you can see that or not. There's like a Ziploc in there, and you really should not rely on just that Ziploc. You really want to fold it over like that and then tape that shut, okay? Because you can get some leakage. At least my understanding is that you can get some leakage in between these little Ziplocs. Now, I've not tested these before. That's just what I've heard folks say. Specifically, it was the NASA guy, EMP preparer or something. I don't remember what his channel is, but he used to work for NASA, and he said that was the case. I can't really confirm or deny that. So the next most cost-effective way going up in the scale is to go with something like this. This is a Go Dark Faraday bag, and you can get these at godarkbags.com. This is a 15-inch laptop bag, and they have they're a little bit more robust, and they have a closure like this, and then you can see on the inside it is lined with a Faraday cloth, and you can buy that cloth just on Amazon just by itself if you wanted to do like a bigger project or something, but it's pretty expensive. And then this is lined inside of it. It's lined with felt and stuff to protect your laptop and everything. And this is fairly heavy duty. It's got welded seams, and you're going to be able to use this a whole lot more frequently, and it's going to be a lot longer lasting than something like one of these foil type bags. Of course, they're a little bit more expensive, right? But anyway, I'm an affiliate with these folks, and the reason that I chose them is because they're kind of in the middle line of cost effectiveness and quality and how long they're going to last. And you can use the discount code Reality Survival to save some cash at checkout. But they're pretty good, and I think that for most people, unless you're getting in and out of them every single day, they're going to last a lifetime. And the way I see most preppers using these things is you're putting something in there that you're not using on a regular basis, and you're kind of storing it away. If you were going to be using it daily, like end on end, then probably what I would go with is, let's see if I can get this up here, something like this. Pretty sure that this bag is from Mission Darkness, I think. Don't hold me to that. It's a lot more expensive. This bag was, I think, $250 or something like that, and show you, as you can see, it's Cordura nylon and all that kind of stuff, and then it's also lined with that stuff inside of it, and then nested inside of there are some other items inside Faraday bags. So it's kind of I've kind of done like a dual layer of protection there. Now that gets pretty spendy for those bags, but the quality is pretty good on those bags as well, and you could put multiple items inside that bag and put, like I said, what I did is, and then put the smaller items inside these bags inside there, so you kind of have a double layer of protection. Then the next step, if you want to do like a DIY project, is to get a little galvanized can like this. This is a Barron's, 10 gallons? Yeah, 38 liters, 10 gallons, something like that. And then line it with cardboard, and then get some conductive metal tape, and make sure to tape up the seams on this. And then you can put the items inside of there. And I have a whole video showing how to do that if you guys want to see that. I'll try to link it below, or you could just search how to make a nested Faraday cage. And then I took the other items, wrapped them in plastic, and put aluminum foil around them, multiple layers of aluminum foil and stuff. So, that's another way to do it. And that's going to be better for like your bigger items, your more bulky items, all that kind of stuff. So then let's talk about generators in general. And I'm not going to get into details on this one too much, because I'm still doing research and I plan on doing another video on this in the future. But let's say you've got like a solar generator, like that Bouge RV Fort 1500, something along those lines, and you want to protect that. There's basically two ways to do that I know of. And that one is going to be either purchasing that Mission Darkness has a bag like this one that I showed you a minute ago. And it's like $500, and it's really big, and you could probably put like 3 or 4 of them down inside there. Most people probably aren't going to spend that much money to do that. If I would imagine, I just don't think I would anyway. The next thing you can do is you can buy some of that fabric that is just like these bags are made up on the inside. You can get it off of Amazon. I'll put a link to some of it below. And you can get a piece that's big enough, wide enough, and you can wrap the generator around in it, and just make sure that you've got it wrapped up on all 4 sides, and then just set it on the ground, so on like concrete or something like that, and then you should be good to go on that. You just want to make sure it's wrapped up fairly tightly. I would recommend not leaving it. Some people have said that you can just let it drape over the top of it and then onto the concrete around it. That I don't believe is effective. I've seen some other videos and guys that were doing testing on that kind of stuff, and it did not appear to be effective to me. So I would make sure that you have a 360-degree wrap all the way around it. Now, if you're talking about a bigger generator, then you're probably going to have to build your own Faraday cage. And basically what you would want to do is build some kind of a wooden frame, and then enclose that frame with like aluminum screen or stainless steel screen, like on a front porch or something like that, the real fine stuff. And maybe you could put a metal top over it. I'll throw a picture in here of somebody who did a real good one on YouTube, and I'll put his channel name in there too if I can. I thought he built a really good one, and the key thing though on what he designed there is you've got to make sure that you have a layer of screen underneath it, and you get a seal all the way around. Now he was just putting a piece of screen on the ground and then setting the box over the top of it, and I think that would probably work fine. You could also take that screen and staple it to a board like a piece of plywood, and it's probably going to last a little bit longer if you do that, and to keep it from getting ripped and torn and stuff when you pull the generator on and off of it. That's probably what I would do if I was going to do that. The other thing that you can do for these or any kind of plug-in appliance or anything like that, even a laptop or a refrigerator or a stove or anything like that, is you can install an EMP Shield on your house. It's a very easy installation. You just have a handful of wires here. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 wires, and you hook that to your sub panel or your distribution panel for your house, and then this unit will monitor the entire system, and if it detects any spike in voltage anywhere in the system, it'll drain that excess voltage off to ground, and it operates at like the billionths of a second level. And the cool thing I like about these, the reason that I am an affiliate with them, is, well, one is because they give you guys a good discount, which you can use the code RealitySurvival at empshield.com. But two, more than that, is the reason that I will associate my name with it is because they do a third-party testing with Keystone Compliance Labs, and I know that those guys do a lot of different testing for electromagnetic pulse stuff for other people in like the DoD and all that kind of stuff. So I know that testing company is a legitimate company, and so I just don't think that they would put their reputation on the line and say that it works when it doesn't, because it actually exceeds all the military specifications, like 3 different military specs. So this is another good way to protect the devices in your home. Then they also make a version, which you can't really see it because I've given this one away this month on Substack. If you want to go to Substack, you can. It's get signed up over there as a paid subscriber, and you get in on the monthly giveaways. This is an EMP Shield Micro for oh wait, I got one over here, for your vehicle. And that will protect your vehicle as well. That way, if you're at work or something like that and an EMP goes off, you'll still be able to drive and get home. I think it was the old congressional report that said something like 60 to 70% of vehicles would probably be disabled to some degree or another. Maybe 30% or so of vehicles would still be able to run at some capacity. I would just prefer to be able to make sure that my vehicle runs, so putting one of these on there was an easy call for me. I've even got one on my tractor. I mean, you can put them on 4-wheelers, ATVs, UTVs. You can put them on pretty much anything. Anything that's a 12-volt system. So, and the other benefit to something like this, now, if an electromagnetic pulse goes off, and let's just say it was one that went off over the top of like Kansas or Missouri or something like that in the center of the country, you're probably going to have an area, if it was up about 250 kilometers or so, you're probably going to have like a 5 or 6 state area that would be directly affected to where the vast majority of electronics would be burned out. And that's based off of a study done by EPRI. It was a 3-year study, and they really took a pretty comprehensive look at the effects of electromagnetic pulses and trying to figure out how to be able to harden the grid and that kind of thing, and what pieces and parts would be necessary to get it back up and get it running again. And they estimated that it would be at least several months before the grid could start to be repaired. Now, that probably means more like 6 months or so. It's probably going to be quite a while. And as you can imagine, if there were more than one EMP, then that would be really, really problematic. But if it was just one, it's something that we could recover from. But that is going to cause the supply chain to completely crumble. And it's going to be a long time. We're talking multiple years probably before you would be able to likely be able to get in a new refrigerator and a new stove and a new, and replace all the appliances. So to me, these are like a nice piece of insurance to make sure that your appliances are protected and stuff like that. In case something happened, then you wouldn't be having to wait forever. The grid might be back up, but you might still not be able to, use any of your appliances because yours got fried, and the supply chains are broken, and you're waiting to try to get them fixed. Now, I will note that the EPRI estimate for how long everything would get fixed is different from the congressional report on EMPs. that was put out several years back. That report estimated that it could be multiple years, that it could probably take 3 to 5 years before they could get back up. And the impact area of where electronics would be affected was almost coast to coast, was what their estimation was, is that one could take out almost the entire United States. I'm not sure that that's really effective when you start looking at the math of it all. It does dissipate over time and distance, just like any electromagnetic field. So I don't really think that that is an accurate estimate, but that is what a lot of people say. So, yeah, okay. So then let's also talk about big generators. Big generators that sit outside your house, like a portable generator. Like I said, you're probably going to have to build a box or a frame around it or something along those lines. If it is a whole home generator, like a Generac, then you're probably going to have to do some kind of an EMP protection like this. They have them for whole house generators at empshield.com. And then those smaller, like inverter generators and stuff like that, again, you're probably going to have to just wrap that up in like a Faraday cloth, or get a bigger bag, like that one that I showed you there, and put that stuff in it. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. That's just going off the top of my head, rattling off all the things. So I've done several videos on this topic. I've got another video that talks about all the things that you should put inside of a Faraday cage. If you want to watch that, I have another video that really goes into depth on explaining exactly what an electromagnetic pulse is and how it functions and how it works, and getting way more into the scientific kind of aspect of it. And I've done multiple videos as well on how to construct Faraday cages and stuff like that, and I'll try to link those down below too. So anyway, I'll have some links also in the description for different products that we've talked about and looked at and all that kind of stuff here today. If you want to take a look at that, I would definitely appreciate it. And I think that's it. Don't forget to live 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you on another video here shortly.